All right, so this next debate might get a little heated. So, all right, let's start. No kids under 10 are allowed at a spaghetti restaurant in New Jersey. The restaurant announced this new policy on Facebook saying that the noise levels, high chairs, and crazy messes got to be too much. So, folks, do we support banning little kids from restaurants? Who wants to step into that line?
I'll step in it just because the restaurant is called Nettie's House of Spaghetti. Doesn't that sound like a restaurant that would have like printed kids menus?
It does,
and
yeah.
little, like, they might be sort of barking up the wrong tree. It sounds like kids might actually be their bread and butter. But personally, I don't see a lot of kids at restaurants anymore. Maybe it's because of the cost factor. It's getting expensive to go out. And also maybe the time, because I might be going out a little later. But I used to serve kids. I worked at a restaurant for years. And it was always like the 5 to 6 family hour when parents would bring in their kids. And they were always generally very, very nice. And they'd leave a generous tip. And they sometimes referred to it as the Cheerio. Cleanup, because inevitably there would be like a box worth on the floor. But I don't see it. I like seeing kids at restaurants, especially well-behaved ones.
I think if the name of your restaurant rhymes, you have to let kids in. It's Nettie's House of Spaghetti. And, you know, as a parent myself, you know, a night out at a restaurant, even if you have to take the kids, it's a lifeboat. You know what I mean? It's like, stop throwing spaghetti at your brother, and don't eat the spaghetti he threw, whatever.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone for a bit. But I would go to a restaurant that banned my own kids, so you can have a night. That would get my business, you know?
He's like, sorry guys, you can't come with me.
You can't
You're not
come with
allowed.
me.
You're just not allowed.
Yeah, they're rules.
I never thought I'd be one of these people that says I'm kind of in favor of this, but parents don't hate me. I'm kind of in favor of restaurants with no kids. Only because I feel like I'm in that sandwich generation where I grew up in a time where parents could reprimand their kids by yelling or doing whatever, giving them, like my mother, for example.
A look, yeah.
Oh, the look, honey. She would just, where's my camera? She would just be like this, Andrea? And she'd just lean in and I'd just be like, okay, time for me to sit down. And then there's the whisper threatening that she would do if I was carrying on. You know that. And I feel like now there's this soft parenting that's happening and children are running wild and their parents aren't doing anything. So the rest of us are sitting in the restaurant going, are you gonna wrangle that kid or just gonna let him run wild? Is that what we're doing right now? Like, I just went to a breakfast restaurant. The parents are at one table, the kids are at the table behind them. The brother is pouring ketchup on his sister, she's screaming, the table's a mess, they're carrying on. The parents aren't even looking back. And then they wanted me to sit next to that table and I go, no ma'am.
Yeah.
I'll sit next to the bathroom. I'm not doing this. And so I feel like I would be in favor of it, but I feel like now people just don't wrangle their kids in. So it's like until your kid can sit down and really handle a restaurant, I'm okay with them staying
But do you think it's just a problem here? Because I feel like, I haven't traveled in a while, but traveling before, like little kids go out for dinner and there's not a separate kids menu. They're not eating at a different time. They're eating with their parents, sometimes at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
In the world?
Yeah, elsewhere in the world. Like, is it a
strictly North American thing?
Yeah.
The helicoptering and the...
Perhaps.
Maybe. I mean, I do think that in Asia, kids are present at restaurants from, like, I haven't been there in a while, but I also, though, think that, like, even though I'm the person who doesn't have children and generally don't like them, but I would say that in my recent experiences that are bad, it's not the children who are bad, it's the adults.
That's the
like
thing.
adults
the same
come
thing.
to great point.
The kids are out of control because the parents are not.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I went to the movies this weekend. I go to those theaters where there are no kids. It's 19 only, and they're called VIP theaters. I am willing to pay that extra tax to see a film without children. And I'm sitting next to 2 guys in their 20s seeing Ant-Man. I'm a big MCU fan. I need to know everything. I need to know about all the superheroes and all the villains. And these 2 would not shut up. Again, these are guys in their 20s, would not stop talking during the movie, to the point where, at one point during the movie, I turned to them and I barked. I said, talk about it later, in front of the whole theater. I had to reprimand these non-children, and I have never had to do that, not recently, with children in a restaurant. So I would say, if the adults are even worse, why are you banning kids? So I'm for the kids on this one, and the parents, which is shocking for me, but after my experience with adults can be worse.
As a parent and a former child myself, I think the answer would be to ban the parents from the restaurant and have you and your mom there dinner.
Yes.
I can do that.
That would be
I
the
can do that.
quietest meal you'd ever have, honey.
It would be, yeah.
I can do
Don't
that.
chew so loud. This would be good.
Not a peep.
I'm really good at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey there! Wasn't that great? Do you know where you can find some equally good content? Our YouTube page. It's filled with discussions, debates, and some laughs. Head there now, like and subscribe.